goes from here. We have how many minutes are left with us? 3 minutes. So 3 minutes we will not sit idle. What we will do? You have a short introduction of yourself to the rest of the group. Then we start preparing. Before chess number 16 goes, she'll also introduce herself. In introduction, you tell about your percentage in 10th and 12th, the place where you are coming from, what are your interests and hobbies. Okay. Just introduce yourself. Then
So good morning friends. My today's topic of lecture is sex education. So as we all know that sex is a major part of our life and as well as it is also a natural part of our life. But in India it contains just like 70% of the villages. So due to the old mentality and also the social rules and regulations in India, we usually prefer the society more than the knowledge. So in India, the people feel shy to discuss about sex. But I want to say that it is about learning, that how we grow, reproduce. So I think we need to change over the years. So I want to say with etiquette that it must be compulsory in high schools because I'm not saying that it must be compulsory from starting, but in high schools the students will be able to understand the proper things which and proper changes which will happen to their body during the teenage. Because sex education help the students to develop their self-esteem to enter the adolescence, and after then sex education help them to knowing that the sudden few changes which happens with their bodies are okay and normal. Just like we can take an example that girls would not get shocked and panic at their first menstruation because they are completely educated about the sexual changes about their during the teenage. So once they know about it, they will learn to behave responsibly within their personal and their sexual relationship. And once they know about it, the youngsters will be more mature and more responsible after sex education. And also we can say that age according to our age, the youngsters are usually very curious about those things that will came up to them, and especially sex. But even during the school time, the teachers just usually skip that chapters which we have necessary knowledge about them. But even we can gain the sex education from internet and our peers also. And at the last moment, I want to say in conclusion that after sex education we can easily remove the social ills like old mentality and narrow mindedness and moral. So thank you so much. That's my complete knowledge about sex education.
My topic is climate change. So, what is climate change? Climate change is changing of monsoons in various season. So, what is the problem causing of climate change? The main problem of changing of climate change is global warming. As you many use of ACs, air conditioners that release their harmful gases like CFCs and and methane and uh, and release of hazardous waste from the industrial areas to the rivers also make change in climate change. So it also reflects problem in farming also, that due to the climate change they in some these farmers dependent on the rain to grow their crops also face so much of loss. So uh, uh, so how to overcome this climate change situation? uh, we should have mainly dependent on the we should mainly dependent on the natural source of energy. Do not make unusual use of mm, nature, and grow more and more crops as we can take as a target. We can uh, don't make so much of deforestation for the uh, thank you.
My lecture topic is organic farming. In olden days, India has organic farming techniques. They used to uh, sow their field by the help of animals, and they use organic materials to in their plants. And in today we can see that there are many chemicals, pesticides and insecticides there are in the market, and people use them to increase their productivity, such as urea and DDT. DDT stands for dimethyl trichloroethane. which is a very harmful pesticides and chemical which are inculcated in the human body by the use of grains. So we have to adopt organic farming techniques which are used by our older ancestors. They use organic cow dung to increase the productivity of the plants. And in today's season we see that in Punjab and Haryana the most of the crops of India are grown, and there the farmers use massively the use of pesticides and insecticides and other chemicals which are very harmful to the animals and humans also. And governments are also implementing laws to reduce the use of urea in plants and using organic farming techniques. And we can see that good productivity is obtained by organic farming techniques. And if we can and other effects of the chemicals are that the soil is getting dry, and the nutrients in the soil are damaging by the use of chemical fertilizers. So the soil is getting day by day endangered, and after some time if we use the chemicals as the same rate as we are using now, then the soil will become infertile, and there will be no products, no crops. So there will be a huge food shortage. So we have to take steps into today, and we have to use organic farming techniques so that we can effectively use soil and water and the plants, and we can improve our health index of India. Thank you. My topic is environmental pollution. So as we know, environmental pollution is of many types, like we have land pollution, air pollution and water pollution, etc. So we consider it first water pollution. So as we know, the industries are growing, and as they have harmful chemicals releasing day by day, and its concentration increases day by day, then the effluents of the chemical pollutant released by the factories in the rivers are very dangerous to the water resources, and it become dangerous more day by day. It become more challenging to us to clean the rivers, the water sources of our to save our life. We have to stop the water pollution, because it is most dangerous situation we are facing now in the earth. Now we can talk to the land pollution. The land pollution is also a major cause which the soil is damaging now day by day, so we cannot grow crops on it, and it is also a major issue. We have to take steps to prevent the soil erosion and soil pollution, so that the crops can getting higher productivity, so we can supply the product of crops. Now we can discuss on the air pollution. Air pollution is created by the harmful gases released by the chemicals and factories which are the chemical releasing, like CFC, chlorofluorocarbons, nitrogen gases, hydrogen gases and sulfurous gases. Then it concentrated in our atmosphere and damages the ozone layer, which can see now the global warming is increasing. The global warming is from the CFCs, chlorofluorocarbon and nitrogen oxide. The ozone layer is depleting, by which global warming is increasing. The average temperature of the earth is increasing now day by day, and it is a major cause which can be dealt with seriously, because the carbon emissions in atmosphere are very harmful. And we can see now in Delhi the air pollution increase very rapidly. Then we in all the other states it is also increasing rapidly. Then we have to stop it, and government is taking measures, that is in Delhi the firecrackers are banned in all regions. Then it is a major step towards preventing our future. In future we have most of the chemical industries in our environment, so the air pollution, land pollution, water pollution increases day by day. So we have to take the strict action towards it and immediate actions, so it cannot contaminate in the following. Then we can consider a bright future. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen. From that 4 topics, I have chosen the topic honor killing. As we know, if we talk about the word about honor killing, where it comes from, as we all know that in the past time there there is a society which was divided according to the Varn system. In the history, if we talk about, if we take the pages of the history, then we get to know about that the various educated people on that time divide the society upon on the basis of their work and their caste. So on that time they make various kind of rules for the both male and female. So but those aspects of the society are making hurdles for the present time. And if we talk about the honor killing, it's simply that we can say that if a female had a talk have a talk with his a guy who is from the another caste or from the another religion, that then the people of that society will kill that girl, or it will kill that female. And it will not only about the female, that will also an hurdle for the male, because in that time we all know that it's a basic all the peoples are educating and India is now developing. So government is looking up to the this matter about the, and they reached out this matter, and they told about the articles which are used for that problem of that killing. So we know that there is a problem both are male and female about their marriage, about their relationship. There are various old hurdles like caste matters, but now Indian government and judiciary is working that intercaste marriage is allowed in the intercaste marriage is allowed in the now in present time. And in my conclusion part, I would like to say that doing a relationship with other caste is not a matter for that, it's not a big matter for male and female. If a person is good for for your life partner, then it should be good. Thank you.
Morning friends, today I am here to speak on the topic India-US relation. First of all, I want to tell you about the India-US relations. As both the countries share the values of many values. As first of all, the commitment to the democracy. As both the countries are follow the democracy and uphold the rule-based international system. And now I want to tell there are many shared interests of both the countries as national security, and there is a healthy competition between the trade. And now I am going to tell you about the economic cooperation between the countries, India and US. First of all, the trade between the India and USA has been increased by the 7.95% to USD 128 billion in the financial year 2022 to 23. As we compared it to the year 2021 to 2022, it is only the $119 billion. As talking about the India's interest, as India export more to the US as compared to the India that imports from the US. Now talking about the shared, now talking about the economic, that both the countries share the many multilateral platforms such as G20, ASEAN, as ASEAN, which is important for the India as to counter the China, which both the countries share. And USA also helped the India in getting this non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council in 2021 for the 2-year term. But as and another one that USA also joined in the 2023 International Solar Alliance, which is headquarters of Indian Solar Alliance. International Solar Alliance is in the Gurgaon in the India. And USA also supported India to get the permanent seat in the UN Security Council. Now I want to tell you about what is the defense cooperation between the India and US. As now India has signed all the 4 foundational agreement with the US, and also the many multilateral exercises which both the countries share, as for example Vajra Prahar and Malabar exercise these countries perform. And talking about the other aspects, as USA also supported India in providing the other defense equipment, as now India is dependent on the Russia for its 50% of its defense is dependent on the Russia. If India buy all the its weapons from the USA, then by this India can reduce its dependence on the on Russia, as now Russia and China have improving their relations. Now I want to tell you about the recent development that both the countries have, that the ISET, which is both the countries have recently signed the ISET, which started in January 2023, and which is to foster their economic cooperation between the countries in the different fields: artificial intelligence, semiconductor, and space, etc. Now talking about the space and the cooperation in the space, both in 2023 India signed the Artemis Accord for the space exploration, and another one is the NASA and ISRO has signed the both forming the satellite, remote sensing satellite to observation of the countries that is NISAR. Now at the last I want to say that India, US is very important for India to counter the China in Indo-Pacific. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Gentlemen, today's my lecture topic is India and its neighbors. First, we talk about the India's neighbors who are sharing with boundaries. Then we talk about the maritime neighbors of India. First, we are taking about the largest boundary shared by India is with Bangladesh. Then later on with the China. Then after Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and we also share boundary with Afghanistan also, POK. Now if we are talking about our largest border sharing nation is Bangladesh. We always have a good relation with Bangladesh from the 1971. Of course, we are the region of the existence of the Bangladesh, so we always has a good relation with Bangladesh. Recently, their Prime Minister visited to India. We had many plans for the Bangladesh, like we will helping the Bangladesh to use the feasible resources of the river water and use that water energy to generate the electricity. Second, we are talking about there was the Nepal is over excessive production of the electricity. So we are also giving the way to the Nepal to transport to export their 32 megawatt electricity to the Bangladesh also. Now we are moving forward to the Pakistan. We always from the independence we always had a controversial relationship with the Pakistan. We had many wars, many operations with the Pakistan, like 1948 war, 1971 war, then later on 1984 Siachen war, and 1999 Kargil war. And later on we have also had the Pulwama attack from the Pakistan side. We had Balakot airstrike. So we had always the not having the good relations with Bangladesh. But recently the scenario is changing because the parliament of the Pakistan they are praising India and their policies. So now we can see that if their country is over expenditure on the military and not thinking about their people, they ultimately went to their foot, and they should learn from India. Now we are moving to the China. In nearby countries, we have also good relation with Nepal, Bhutan. Nepal is always our favoring country. Bhutan, we also help the Bhutan with the army, whenever the natural disaster came. So in the nearby countries, when we come, there is always concern for the India is the China. In the China, there is trade about the 140 billion dollars, in which we are around 80 billion in the trade deficient, which is a major concern for India. And also the border concerns. China's always policy is first claim the other nations part and then try to occupy them. In the same, we faces the situations in the Arunachal Pradesh, in Ladakh. There we are having the standoff and the Tasong River in the Ladakh. And if we are want to counter the China, we have to counter their Diamond of Pearls, their policy. Like they are having the Hambantota port at the Sri Lanka, we are having the Hambantota airport at the Sri Lanka. They are having the Gwadar port in the Pakistan, we are having the Chabahar port at Iran. So like this, we have to make their enemies as friends. Like the Philippines, we are transport the Burmos to them. So we are having the friends, increasing friends towards that. Now we are moving towards the other friends. We are having the good relations with Sri Lanka and the Maldives. So major concern in the neighbors for India is now China only. We have countered Pakistan earlier. So to counter with China in the politics or in the trade, we have to build the relationship with the USA and the Europeans that help to deviate our trade from China to the eastern states or to the western countries. So that's all about the India and its neighbors. Thank you.
Hey everyone, today's my lecture topic is BRICS. First of all, MOD as well as its conclusion. Now, coming to the introduction, as we know, the BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And the idea of this organization was given by the Russia, and the name of the BRICS was given by the Jim O'Neill in 2001. But if we talk in 2006, the BRICS was done for emerging 4 countries. But in 2010, the South Africa was added also. And now the first summit of the BRICS is also started by the Russia, Yakin, and the 14th summit of the BRICS was held in the Beijing, China, and the 15th summit, so in 2023, was held by the Johannesburg in South Africa. Now, the theme of the 2023 BRICS is what that the partnership will mutually accelerated and sustainable development and multilateralism is emphasized also. Now, if we talk about the difference of the BRICS, BRICS covers the 41% population of the world and the 30% area of the world, as well as it is covered the $18.6 trillion economy, GDP of the world. Now, it is the bridge of the development and the developing countries, and now talking about the benefit for the India. Now, as we know that our tension with the China is more. Now, by using this platform, we can reduce our tension with the China, as well as we can improve our relationship with the Russia. And as we know, the BRICS has its own bank, is National Development Bank (NDB). But if we know that India is going to the India is for the coal energy, but it is both for the World Bank, but it is refused. It can benefit by the using the NDB. And now my next is that how can we improve our relations like by the Russia? As we know, Russia is the biggest partner of the India for the oil and as well as the Brazil and South Africa. Now in 2023, the outcomes of the summit that in the 1st January of 2024, the 6 countries will be added in BRICS like Ethiopia, Argentina, Iran, UAE, and Iraq also. And now, one last, I would like to conclude my topic. As you know, the India and the China are the fastest growing countries in the world. So, for these emerging countries, for their sustainable development and their future foreign policy, they should work together and as well as in the space organization also. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Today, my topic is about cybercrimes. We are living in the 21st century where everything is about technology. We are using phones, laptops, other devices which are connected to the internet. But earlier, when phones and technology was not so much complicated and sophisticated, they are using for the just simple method like sharing information and for the other means. And today, the cyber crimes is the new type of crime which is committed online, which is the cyber criminals use the basic devices, basic instruments. They just have to connect their phone or device with their devices. They use several methods like Trojan horses, unidentified links, and OTP method to connect the device. The crimes are committed in the human society since a very long time. Earlier, when there is the crimes are committed offline, like robbery, honor killing, and all the other means. But today, these crimes are converted into online. Like if any person who is not much aware about the cyber crime, and he got the message about from a fake bank or from any other institution, and if he touches the link, his device is connected to the other hacker's device. Then in that case, the hacker can easily access all the personal information of the person about the bank details, and he can easily withdraw the money and other sensitive information of the individual. Cyber crimes is a very complicated and sophisticated crime, so that to encounter this, the police are also forming for their separate cyber cells to encounter this type of crimes. Cyber criminals are not just criminals; they are blackmailed. They blackmail someone. They do robbery. They hack the account and post unsocial information. The very famous cyber group is Anonymous, which used to hack anyone's profile, anyone's bank account, and anyone's. They steal the personal information. And in the age of internet, there is a dark net. There is a dark web where the hackers steal information, sell their personal information, and they commit killing, blackmailing, robbery, and
Hello,
all the
hello,
other
hello.
things. Um, the cybercrime is, to encounter the cybercrime, the exactly opposite is the ethical hacking. The government hired the computer learners, computer trainees, and trained them about ethical hacking. Ethical hacking is just opposite the cybercrime to encounter the cybercrime. Ethical hackers try to identify the IP address of the device which is using for the crime. They track their IP address, they track their location, and they try to seize the devices and the location of those cyber criminals. Thank you.